Hop right into it. Alright, so first up, the first thing that you want to look for on your 1942 pennies, well, we're going to look at first the 1942 S. So this is the S mint mark. If you guys are not familiar with the S mint mark or where the mint marks are at, if you guys are new to coin collecting, if we zoom into the date, you can see that S mint mark there. So here's an image of a D mint mark underneath the date, and then of course you have the no mint mark, which is produced in Philadelphia. So let's go back to this S mint mark. What you want to look for first is a double die obverse, and you can do this with a coin microscope, and I do have those available on couchcollectibles.com. So that is a double die obverse on the lettering. You also want to look for that there on the dates. You can really see it there at the top of the 9. So always be on the lookout for that double die obverse. Now let's look at some coin prices and see what these coins actually sold for. So the 1942 S. Now wait, before we get into the double die, we're going to do the double die and the RPM. So if you guys are not familiar with what an RPM is, here's a couple examples of that. This is a 1942 S where the S mint mark has been repunched. So repunched mint mark, it's abbreviated as RPM. So here's those examples. So always be on the lookout for that on your mint marks as well. Those repunched mint marks, those can take place on, you know, numerous different dates of pennies, numerous different mint marks. So let's go back to this image here. This is a coin that has that doubling, that double die obverse, and that RPM, that repunched mint mark. Now on the coin side, you can see that it is also graded at a mint state 66 red. So that will give it a lot of value as well. If you guys are not familiar with coin grading, I have coin grading videos out there kind of explaining that process. So definitely go check those out. Just type in coin grading couch collectibles here on YouTube and you will find those videos. So this coin here, because of all of that, sold for nearly $1,000. So nearly a $1,000 penny. Now also on your D mint marks, you also want to look for a repunched mint mark for the 1942 wheat penny. Now you can see off to the left side of this D mint mark, you can see that repunch taking place. Now here on this image, you can see it above the D mint mark. So you look there at the top of the D mint mark, you can see that repunched mint mark there. So always be on the lookout for those. Now here's a couple examples of RPMs on the 1942 D wheat penny. So this is graded at a mint state 62 brown. Now also, if you're not familiar with brown pennies versus red brown pennies, I have a whole video on that as well on my channel. So go check that out as well. Now this coin here sold for over $150. But if we look at the same date and same mint mark penny, it's just got a different grade. It's graded at a mint state 67 red. So it's not a brown penny, it's a red penny. Plus it's got a higher grade, a mint state 67. And it does have that repunched mint mark. This penny sold for over $700. So a big difference from $150 to $700 because of the grade of the coin. Now let's look at some other interesting coins here. Now this is a 1942 wheat penny that was, you know, it looks pretty normal, but it was actually struck on a thick planchet that weighs 4.11 grams. Now these pennies here in 1942 are only supposed to weigh 3.1 grams. So I do have coin scales available on couchcollectibles.com as well. You can weigh your coins. 4.1 grams, that is a lot more weight than you will typically see. So definitely want to send it in for coin grading if you find one that weighs, you know, 4.1 grams. Now this coin here sold for over $1,600. $1,600. So that is a really awesome different type of coin to always be on the lookout for. Sticking with another mint error penny. Now this one here is really cool. Now the obverse has been struck through some type of fragment. You can see that there on the front, on top of Lincoln's head, you can see that taking place. So here on the reverse looks pretty normal. Always check both sides of your coins, of course. This penny sold for over $485. Nearly a $500 penny. Now let's get one of these high graded pennies out of the way. This coin is solely valuable because of its high grade of a mint state 67 red. It doesn't have any types of mint errors or anything like that. The coin sold for over $2,000 because of its high grade. Now also, 1942 double die obverse. Now this coin is graded at a very fine 30. So it's definitely not the lowest grade, but definitely nowhere near the highest grade. So it's not a mint state graded coin, it's graded at a very fine 30. You can see that it's been circulated, it's been out in circulation for quite some time, but they did grade it at a double die obverse. So this coin here sold for over $135. Now if this coin was in better condition, of course it would sell for a lot more money. Another error penny from 1942. Now this is a mirror brockage taking place and the coin has been struck off center. So really cool here. You see on the front, it looks like a normal off-center penny. You know, it's pretty off-center, but here on the reverse, you don't see the reverse design of the penny being off-center. You actually see a mirror image of the front of the coin, the obverse of the coin. So that is a mirror brockage, and this coin sold for over $2,500. $2,500. That is just amazing there. Now this one is interesting. This is a 1942 penny that was struck on a brass planchet. So that is interesting. If you got anything that kind of looks similar to this, hey, you never know, you could send it into a coin grading company and get their opinion and get it graded to see if it's a mint error coin. So this coin did sell for over $125. Now for the 1942 proof, I'll show you this one. This is just an extremely high graded version of the proof. If you guys are not familiar with what proof coins are, I've done multiple videos on those. You can see that it's got a very shiny mirror-like finish. It's very detailed. It's very easy to distinguish a proof coin from a regular business stripe coin. Now this penny, because of its high grade, sold for over $17,000. That's right, $17,000. Now for the 1942S high grade, again, this is only valuable because of its high grade of a mint state 67 red. This penny sold for over $2,300. $2,300. Now this next one's really interesting. This is a mint error as well. It's been struck on a blowhole and it's got a defective planchet. So it looks like it's almost damaged. However, this is actually a mint error. And I'm not sure why this penny is in this video, but it's a 1914S. I gotta put this in the 1914 folder for the pennies. Sorry about that, guys. But it is a cool looking penny that sold for over $160. 1914 wheat penny. Back to the 1942 wheat pennies. Now here is another wheat penny that was actually struck on a 10-cent planchet. So the penny actually struck on a, what was supposed to be a dime planchet. So a silver dime planchet here, which is really cool. Now this coin here sold for over $14,000. So if you have any silver looking pennies, you can definitely send me coin pictures if you become a level 2 member, and I will give you my opinion on those. But this is a $14,000 penny. Now here's another penny that's pretty similar, same type of thing. 1942 1-cent coin struck on a 10-cent planchet. Penny struck on a dime planchet. This coin sold for nearly $1,000, almost a $1,000 penny. Now, being struck on a couple wrong planchets, let's check this out. This is a 1942 that was struck on an Ecuador 10 centavos planchet, so it's very awesome. Now, the average person going through their change will probably not notice this, so you definitely always want to weigh your coins and definitely inspect them very closely. Here is the coin that the penny was actually struck on. It wasn't struck with this design, this Ecuador design, but it was struck on the Ecuador planchet that the Ecuador coin was supposed to be on. So this coin here sold for over $1,800. $1,800. And then here is another coin that was struck on a wrong planchet. This is very cool as well. Struck on a planchet that is 84% copper, 11% zinc. Man, that is really cool there. Weighs 3.6 grams. And this penny sold for over $550 US. $550. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I'll see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.